Hello everyone, in this video we are going to analyze a dataset built from Finance Data W 2026, data that we're going to use to answer the following central question. How are customer transaction patterns really changing and what strategic implications does this have for the organization? In this analysis, we're aimed to analyze data in order to identify seasonalities, trends, customer segmentation in order to turn data into strategic decisions. To ensure consistency, I structured the model using transactions as the central table, validate the amount filter, and confirm that the key variables were completed. Null values in channel were filtered out to avoid bias in the segmentation. Before diving into the insights, the dashboard includes filter by region, channel, and month, as well as dynamic top-end parameters. I also implemented a statistic dimension for clusters, allowing segmentation to maintain their identity even when the filters change. This is crucial for comparing the behavior of the same groups across different channels. Now, let's move on to the story that the data is telling us. Let's start with the first question, which states, is behavior changing over time? First, I start with a line chart, because it allowed us to analyze temporal evolution and compare trends across channels. ATM shows a high volatility, with significant peaks on March and October, although with a slightly positive trend. Branch presents a moderate fluctuation with a mild downward trend. Mobile ranks among the most volatile channels, achieving an overall downward trend. Online records the highest peak of the period in June and then fluctuates, maintaining a relative stable pattern. This shows that customer transaction behavior does not change in the same way across all channels. Digital transformation is not a straight or simple process, so a strategic decision needs to adjust how each channel behaves. Moving into the second question, are there seasonal patterns? To answer this, I use a heat map to identify monthly concentration within each channel. ATM shows higher activity in March and October. Branch displays more balanced pattern with peaks at the beginning and the middle of the year. Mobile has a strong participation at the start and the end of the year. And lastly, online stands out, especially in June and November. Overall, this shows that seasonality is not the same across channels. For that reason, marketing campaigns and operational plans should be organized according to each channel's strong month, rather than using one general strategy for the whole year. The third question of our project is, how stable are the channels? To evaluate the stability, I use a box plot, since it allows us to compare dispersion, median values, and detect outliers across channels. ATM shows a wide dispersion with a very low and very high month, indicating high variability, while Branch has more compact distribution, suggesting greater stability. Mobile also presents significant variability and reaches some of the highest values, whereas online appears more consistent overall, despite a clear outlier in June that breaks the usual pattern. Overall, this indicates that not all the channels carry the same level of risk. While branch and online are relatively more stable, ATM and mobile require closer monitoring and stabilization strategies. The next question is, which customers generate the most value? To identify where value is concentrated, I use a clustering analysis, grouping customers based on age and annual income. The chart shows clear groups mainly based on income, with high-income customers clearly separate from the others. This means value is not evenly distributed, and higher-income customers are the most valuable segment. Based on this, it's recommended to implement different strategies by segment, prioritizing premium products, exclusive benefits, and loyalty programs for high-income clusters, while targeting middle segment with growth and upselling strategies. Finally, the last question states, is there commercial dependency? The top-end ranking shows that there is leadership, but not extreme concentration. Therefore, the risk of dependency is moderate. The recommendation is to maintain the current balance and strengthen the relation with the top-end merchant. In response to the main question, transaction patterns are changing, but not in a uniform way. Digital migration is not linear, and some channels are more volatile than others, and each one has different strategic moments. In addition, the greatest value is concentrated among high-income customers. This means the organization should apply different strategies for each channel and each segment, rather than using the same approach for everyone.